Hey, how's everybody doing? Hope you're having a fantastic day. It is Monday, May 11th, and I'm finally back. I'm finally back to streaming. A lot of you guys, you've been asking, hey, Wagner, when are you going to get back to streaming? When's the normal streaming schedule coming? And really, I don't know if it's ever going to come back to 3 nights a week, 7 p.m. I know that the background still says that or whatever, the header, but there's really nothing to stream about. I don't see any reason for me to come on here and stream and talk about basically nothing. I mean, even this is kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel. I'm going to be commenting on a tier list that somebody else did, Cleaved Antiquity. And really, I'm going to extrapolate a lot about how I think a lot of people are getting it wrong. They got the wrong message out of how he ranked people. And they don't really understand the problem that we're having. But really, there's not that much to stream about. I mean, I could do like a review video, but what videos are even kind of coming up right now? There's no debates to review. There's no church news or anything like that. No major documents coming out of the Vatican. The encyclical from Pope Leo is coming out soon, but that will probably be the next time. I mean, there's really interviews. Like I could do like an interview or something like that, but I could just pre-record an interview and post that. That's not really like real streaming. And you guys kind of watch the stream. I've noticed that when I have other people on and I'm kind of doing that sort of format, you guys don't watch that as much. You'd rather just have me kind of talking here. So kind of defeats the purpose of streaming. Q&As, those are okay, I guess. You know, I guess they're fine. There's really nothing to stream about. So 3 videos a week, sure, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I will, to the best of my ability, keep up with Monday, Wednesday, Friday. But when it comes to like actually, streaming, just me sitting here talking about things and answering questions, reacting to the chat, all of that stuff, there's really not that much going on. So we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully, I can at least find one thing a week to stream about Mondays, hopefully 7 p.m. Eastern Standard. But if there's nothing to stream about, I'm just going to release a video and you guys are going to have to be happy about it because it is what it is. So with this whole tier list thing, if you don't know, there's a popular practice of basically ranking into separate tiers from S tier to F tier. It's a practice that is followed in YouTube, non-Catholic YouTubers, and a few religious YouTubers have decided, theology YouTubers have decided to turn, fellow apologists or fellow YouTubers or whatever into a tier list. And there was a recent one done by Cleave to Antiquity. He's a Eastern Orthodox YouTuber, and he teamed up with a Catholic and did a tier list of Catholic apologists. And the reaction that I saw from everybody was everyone was basically shocked. They're like, "Oh no, Cleave to Antiquity. He put me in A tier. By the way, there was no S tier. I guess I would have been S tier if you had S tier. He put me in A tier. I'm very flattered." But then he was doing stuff like putting Kevin Fernandez from Since 33 AD. He was putting him in the same row, I think D tier, the same row with like Lila Rose, which is kind of funny. And he was putting like the guy from the Alex guy, the Voice of Reason guy, that whole situation. He was putting the Voice of Reason guy above Kevin from Since 33 AD. And basically, the take that everybody had about this was like, "Oh, look how stupid and idiotic and moronic, this guy is. Look how stupid they are. They're so silly. They don't understand the arguments or anything like that. If they really got the arguments, then they would have actually made a good tier list or something like that." And I think what this response, it totally misses the point. And I think that it provides us with some good fodder. And that's why I'm even doing this stream in the first place. It provides us with some good fodder about actually thinking about the nature of the sort of apologetics YouTube sphere and the general audience of these types of shows, these types of debates, including my show, including my streams, including my debates, by the way. 90% of you guys are going to fall into this category. I think there's the 10% who kind of beat the box, so to speak. But for 90% of you guys, this is exactly how you're going to be as well. But what this sort of response kind of misses is that the shock of somebody actually ranking these sort of things misses the fact that basically Cleave to Antiquity, what he represents is he doesn't represent somebody who's idiotic or stupid or whatever else. He represents basically your average guy watching these YouTube channels. Your average Eastern Orthodox, if you were to ask me before that stream, oh, how do you think Cleave to Antiquity is going to rank people? I probably could have guessed pretty closely how he would rank each one of these different tiers. And the reason for that is when it comes to your average person watching these apologetics channels, you may be shocked and say, oh, well, Kevin and I, for example, we basically say the same thing. I mean, that's totally true. We give basically the same arguments. We read the same authors. We quote the same authors and everything like that. So you may be shocked and say, oh, well, how could he put you in A tier, but he puts Kevin, who basically says the same thing? How could he put him in D tier? That doesn't really make sense. When you're thinking about it rationally, abstractly, from that perspective, it doesn't really make that much sense that actually Lyle LaRose and Kevin Fernandez are in the same tier, or whoever else you may want to reference. But when you actually understand the way in which a lot of people, including most of you guys, watch content on the internet, and especially apologetics content, it actually makes a lot of sense. Because when most of you are hearing things that I say and following something that I say, and due to something that I say, you adhere to something. You hear me say it, you kind of understand what I'm saying. And then from that, you're like, okay, this is now my take on the matter. This is now my opinion on the matter. And when I talk to other people, this is what I am going to repeat on the matter. When most of you have that thought process, what is actually motivating you to agree with that thing? And I'm very self-conscious of this, and I think that most people who make content should be conscious of this. The motivating factor in most cases isn't the fact that you have grasped, the scientific argument that I've put forward, the theological argument that I've put forward. You're not grasping the syllogism and then from the syllogism coming to the conclusion. That's not happening. For most people, what they are doing is they are hearing what is being said and they adhere to that person as an authority for some reason. What Cleve is doing is the reason why Cleve says that Jay Dyer is S tier, or Ubi Petrus is S tier, or whatever other the sort of J1 type ideology or methodology. The reason why that is the case is they adhere to the personal authority of Jay Dyer for some reason, and then going into it, if Jay says something and says something in a certain way, they are going to adhere to it. In most cases, and I've noticed this with myself in my own content, I'll see a lot of comments when I post something, and a lot of people are like, oh, great, I agree with this. They'll give commentary on what I say. In most cases, I would say that when I read that commentary, I come away thinking, yeah, that person unfortunately fundamentally didn't understand what I even said, or at least what I intended to say. And you could place the locus of the blame on me, say that maybe I'm not clear enough. And perhaps if I was, super clear, then maybe people would actually understand what I'm saying. But I actually don't really think that gets really to the bottom of it. I think that, and this is, a realization that I've had a lot of the last few months. I think that this is just for the majority of people at the level that the majority of people are at with their natural faculties, that's kind of how it's a fact of nature that this is how they're going to adhere to anything. When they watch a debate between Jay Dyer and I don't know, Trent Horn, they're not actually sitting there and thinking through the points that Jay makes and the points that Trent makes. And they're actually really thinking about the force of all the arguments and whose demonstrations are better, who is exegeting the text better. They're not really thinking about that. That's actually a very small percentage of the entire crew. It's really, in a way, it's really kind of just who you like better, who sounds better, like those persuasive rhetorical qualities. It's going to be who you have a sort of personal adherence to. It's going to be all of those other factors. So I think that what this leads me to realize is this leads me to realize that if I were to go into this whole thing, there's a whole purpose, there's a method to the madness when it comes to scholastic answers. The initial purpose of even doing something like scholastic answers for me was that I wanted to actually, have a bit of a popularization, if you may, or a democratization of knowledge. I wanted to take the teaching of the scholastics, especially of St. Thomas Aquinas and of the scholastics, and I wanted to apply it to questions, right? I wanted to apply it to ways that questions people were asking or topics people found interesting to cover. So I could give the scholastic perspective on it and something that I think is actually very persuasive. And I thought, at least my first intention, was that people would hear that. They would hear my line of argumentation. They'd be like, oh, wow, this is far superior to anything else that I've ever heard of. Not because, I'm super brilliant or a super genius or anything, but because I think that St. Thomas is super brilliant. He's a super genius. And I happen to be saying what he's saying, arguing like he's arguing, etc. But what I've kind of come to realize is that no matter what, there's a sort of poison pill that comes with popularization. As you popularize, as you make things more basic in an effort to get more people to hear things, to get more people to listen to it, to get more people to adhere to it, the more you are going to have people receive it as their normal sort of diets. I'm kind of, to give an analogy, I'm kind of sitting here, I'm making, a beautiful steak, right? I'm doing everything right. I'm cooking it perfectly. I'm doing everything that I need to do. I'm seasoning it fine. I'm making a good steak sauce, right? And then I'm taking the steak and I'm just like throwing it in the slop tray. So if what you're used to is you're used to a diet of slop, even very good things with that diet of slop, they're going to receive it like slop. They're going to eat it like slop. I'm kind of just throwing steaks into the slop tray to be received like anything else. So, like, what is sort of the point even? It kind of brings up the question, right? What is the sort of point even of me doing what I do? Why would I even continue in this way? If it seems that there's an almost inevitable slopification, even if I don't slopify, people will always receive it as slop. Like, what is even the point in me continuing to do this? Well, I think that what's important is that while it may be, 70, 80, 90%, whatever the percentage is of the audience, that there are actually genuinely people who are able to engage at the right level, right? They are able to engage and understand it on their own terms. They're able to understand and apply it. I don't think this is a sort of inevitable thing. I think that it's a very popular thing, but I don't think it's inevitable. And I think on the other hand, what's important as well is that while they may completely misunderstand, the line of reasoning, or where they may completely misunderstand, the way that I'm saying something, I do think, and I firmly believe, obviously I wouldn't say it, I firmly believe that what I'm saying is true. And I think that it is beneficial, even if people don't understand why I'm saying something, or even if they don't understand the line of reasoning, right? It's very important that they adhere to true things. And I think that there's a lot of people, and this I think a it's a sort of pandemic in a lot of the scholastic circles, is they'll view this fact of reality. They'll eventually they'll eventually realize this, right? They'll eventually realize exactly what I'm saying. Is you can't really just, if you just keep saying the right things eventually, or in the right ways, eventually people will just completely change the way they're thinking, and they'll eventually receive it in the way in which they are receiving it. There's a sort of there's an approach to this fact that completely misses the point and thinks that because this is the case, that therefore, everybody is stupid or immoral, or that these people aren't worth telling the truth to, or you might as well just ignore these people. I think that's completely wrong, right? Just because there is, these facts of life, if we may put it, of not being able to grasp things in certain ways, just because this is the case, that doesn't mean that somebody is immoral, or it doesn't even necessarily mean that somebody is stupid, right? It is still a good thing to actually have the right opinion and then communicate that opinion to somebody in a persuasive way to where they will actually adhere to what is true. I think there's a lot of value to that. And what this sort of brings me to is that the reason, kind of asking the question of the reason why I am A tier in this listing and Kevin is D tier, or basically the question of why two people basically saying the same exact thing are on different tier levels. I think that the what we need to conclude of this, and it's a very important application to the whole online apologetics thing, the whole online Catholic apologetics, and I think that why there's a strong degree of persuasion for a lot of what Catholics are saying and the way in which Catholics are saying it. The reason is basically the fact that there are those other persuasive qualities that come along with the way in which people say things. So, for example, Jay Dyer is somebody who I think is objectively wrong. And I think a lot of the arguments that he gives are objectively really bad. But there are certain persuasive qualities about Jay and about the way in which Jay says things that cause people to adhere to what he is saying. And I think what he is saying is false. And I think it's bad that people are adhering to what he is saying, right? And I think that what we need to actually focus on is we need to focus on bringing the truth to people and recognizing that perhaps the demonstrations that we bring are not the determining factor. It's actually going to be other elements of persuasiveness. And I'm going to give an analogy of this. And this is something that they had actually brought up in their review when they talked about me. And I'll get to the actual review in a second. I just had to black pill for a while. What they brought up is they actually brought up the example that a lot of you might not have even heard of. You might not have even heard that I've ever done this before. But about, I want to say 3 to 4 years ago, somewhere around there, I actually had a debate with Ubi Petrus. And I had a debate of with Ubi Petrus on the issue of the filioque. And when I had this debate with Ubi Petrus on the filioque, I had this sort of naive understanding of the way in which these things work, and probably a naive understanding that a lot of you guys might have right now, which is why I'm even saying this in the first place. What I basically thought is that the determining factor of whether I would win this debate, whether I would actually do good in this debate, what the determining factor was, is if I just gave a lot of different arguments that were really, really good, and if I objectively refuted all the arguments that he gave that were really, really bad, then I would win the debate. And a lot of the people listening, that they would just be like, oh, wow, yes, the filioque is true. Did you see that Wagner, he exegeted these texts of scripture, or that he exegeted these texts from the fathers, or that he gave these arguments from theological reasoning that are very convincing? I actually thought, walking into the debate, that this is what would determine, the outcome of the debate. And I was completely wrong and actually, funnily enough, Ubi Petrus understood this a million times better than I understood this. So when I went into the debate, I thought that winning a debate was a matter of giving better arguments, giving more proofs, right? A coalescence of a bunch of different proofs that are unanswered, that this would be very persuasive towards the audience. This is how a lot of you guys think about it, right? If you're going to actually go and talk to somebody, or if you're going to make a video or write an article, write a tweet, that what you actually need to do is you actually need to coalesce a bunch of very persuasive arguments. And that if you coalesce all of these very persuasive arguments, then everybody listening is just going to be like, oh, well, I guess he's right. And, maybe that's how some of us think about it. That's how I think about it. At least I hope so. That's how I think about it. But that's not how your normal person thought about it. Funnily enough, what Ubi Petrus did is Ubi Petrus actually he brought forward one thing. He's like, well, there's this group of theologians who published a study in the Vatican newspaper, and this kind of seems like it's supporting how I articulate the filioque. And that was basically his argument. Obviously in itself, why would that be a good argument? Nobody knows. I mean, you don't really actually prove anything by that. That didn't demonstrate any of the conclusions that he was seeking. But what he could do with it is it actually made it very comprehensible for the people listening. I think for my own presentations of doctrine and for the own arguments that I gave, I think that probably 90% of the people who listened to it, especially of the opposing side, they probably didn't really understand what I was saying. But what Ubi did very beautifully, I think, although I think very disingenuously and not really scholarly at all. But what he did is he just asked himself the question, okay, well, how can I present the filioque in a way that, a sort of normie, right? An NPC walking into the debate will think that they understand the question. They'll think they understand the debate, and they'll come away with it thinking that they have a very good grasp of where this stands. And that's what he walked into it. That was his intention walking in with it, and he completely walked away with that. That was an intention that left most of the, especially Eastern Orthodox listeners, they heard me yap and yap, and then they just heard something they could understand really well and kind of really grasp onto. And it was a thing that they could really understand well and really grasp onto that kind of won the day for them. So I think there's actually an important lesson there, is that even to this day, when it comes to how somebody like Cleave to Antiquity thinks about me and thinks about that debate, it's really just the fact that, Wagner yapped a lot, and then Ubi said this one thing that I could kind of understand, and then that took the cake for me. So, yeah, I think the takes of everybody on this, the takes that have come out, just being absolutely shocked and flabbergasted by this, completely wrong take. This is, if you're not coming into this thinking that you're not speaking to 1 billion Cleave to Antiquities and people who think like Cleave to Antiquity and process information like Cleave to Antiquity, if you're not walking into this game thinking that 90% of your Catholic audience is exactly like Cleave, and they think of you and your arguments exactly like how Cleave thinks about, Jay Dyer, or they think about your opponent's arguments exactly how they think about, they think about your opponent's arguments exactly how Cleave thinks about his opponents. You're not even going to understand that. He put me in A tier, not because he just really thought about, how solid Wagner's arguments are. I don't know. I guess I just put things in persuasive ways. And, it's literally just, it's literally, I hate to put it like this. It's just like a vibe check thing. He's just like the vibes on Kevin's arguments. Kevin was thinking really hard, and he's like, oh, Cleave, he's doing this. So the Eastern Orthodox listening to his channel will be like, oh, Kevin's arguments are really bad. I'm not listening to Kevin. And it's like, okay, yeah. And he put me in A tier because he wants all his Eastern Orthodox followers to listen to me. Obviously what he was doing is he was just giving a vibe check on all these people. It's just like his vibes when he listens to me, he's like, oh, Wagner's vibes are very convincing. And then when he's in his view, when he listens to Kevin, and I love Kevin, Kevin's awesome. He's my bud. Okay. So no dunking on Kevin here. When he listens to Kevin, he's like, oh, Kevin doesn't pass the vibe check. There's literally nothing, absolutely nothing. When most people think about your videos, most people think about what you're saying, and the way in which most people think about debates, which is why, I'd rather not do them. I think they're dumb, because I would have to either find somebody who's willing to speak on the same terms and have the same idea of a debate, or I just have to grovel myself to either be ineffectual like I was with the Ubi debate. I'd have to find somebody kind of who's with the same mindset like I did with the David Erhan debate, or I would just have to grovel myself, before all of these, what I think are stupid methods of basically trying to uh, state arguments that I don't think are really that good. But I think that your average person, if I added some rhetoric to it, I think that they would actually find, personally super convincing for what I have to say. So that's the sort of general treatment of the cleave to antiquity talk. Completely unsurprising, and I think that we actually need to think a lot more. Goodness, this is not what in the world. Um, okay, I'm trying to bring up the actual thing. Goodness, okay, I'm not good at this. Okay, trying to bring up the actual debate, but I mean to kind of summarize, I think that we actually just need to take much more seriously the fact that this is just how people are, and there's not really anything we can do about it until the end of time. This is how people are going to be. People were like this when they couldn't read 500 years ago. You think that 500 years ago to now, people's faculties have like sharpened, and that now, because people can read and stuff, that people are smarter now. Like, no, it's you have basically the modern version of an illiterate medieval peasant, except now they can actually read because they were forced to learn how to read. But that doesn't mean that they can actually process any better than if they were illiterate. Like, they can process the same way. So we need to think a lot more seriously about how we're actually going to engage this in a way that's I don't think we ought to be very haughty about it. I don't think that we ought to be very elitist about it. I think that's really stupid and counterintuitive. If we're going to be elitist and pretend that Catholicism and the Catholic faith is just for the people who can grasp demonstrations and stuff, I think that's really stupid. I think that we just need to be more honest with ourselves, and actually, when we view these sort of events, we shouldn't have this shock about it. I think we should just kind of shrug our shoulders and say, like, yeah, this is just how normal people are. This is like how the normies are. When they hear what I'm saying, they're not they're not grasping everything that I have to say. That's just a fact of life. Okay. Well, anyways, let's actually get into the video after. Oh no, I'm already 30 minutes in. Okay, there's almost no way that I'm gonna be able to finish this. Maybe what I'll do is I'll kind of do like I normally do. I'll get through as much of it as I can, and then I will stream the rest of it as like a member only stream. But I will try. Oh yeah, by the way, and if you're listening to this, you are not part of the 10%. The 10%, sorry guys, the 10% are not listening to this live stream right now. The 10% only listen to the edited videos. The 10% were listening to the De Revelazione series back in, what was that, like 2021. That's where the 10% were. The 10%, they were always there. You guys are there. You guys are just there to fund with ad revenue and Patreon and super chats the information for the 10%. The 10% has moved over to Substack now. You guys are just there to keep up the 10% learning. So I thank you for your sacrifice for the 10%. I'm messing with you guys, okay?
Hey, what's going on? Welcome to Cleave to Antiquity. Today I'm joined by a very special guest. Ish, what's going on, man?
What is going on?
How's it going, man? Good to be here.
Yeah, glad to have you on the show.
Okay, I think this is kind of weird, by the way. If I may comment to begin with, what's super weird about this is I don't know why Ish is on here. I mean, I don't know much about Ish. I think that he was on Matt Frad, Pints of Aquinas. And yeah, I think that's like where he kind of got his start, maybe. And then recently he's been like blackpilling or something about Coptic Orthodoxy. So I don't even know what the whole intention behind ranking like this is. So who knows? I'm not sure. I don't think I would ever do this. I think that what's fine. There was an instance in which I was on a stream explaining the Trinity with Jake, the Muslim metaphysician, and a few of the errors of Sam Shamoon came up on the Trinity from past, present, whatever. And he asked me about it on stream, and I felt totally fine with just answering like, yeah, I think that Sam is wrong about this. So I don't have necessarily a problem in principle if there's an occasion of scandal and you have a just reason and proportionate reason for correcting public errors, when you're in those sort of environments. But I just don't know about a tier ranking sort of thing. It seems kind of, I don't know. It just seems kind of boring to me, anyways. I don't know why you guys are watching this.
I'm excited for this one. I think it's gonna be fun. We're gonna do a tier list, best to worst Catholic apologists in the YouTube space right now. So I think this will be interesting because there's quite a few.
Jimmy Aiken and I got first place. Sorry to spoil it. It's so funny that Jimmy Aiken and I got first place. I just sit there and think about it. I'm like, how did Jimmy and I get there together? Like, why is it Jimmy and I? Like, what is so like persuasive about how the way in which I say things and the way in which Jimmy says things? Like, we're completely opposite end of the polls. It's like horseshoe theory confirmed. Like, we're just completely on opposite ends of one another when it comes to the way in which Jimmy presents stuff and the way in which I present stuff. Like, I'm overly dogmatic. Jimmy is like very, like broad-minded. It's Jimmy, he will, state things in a way that's very, matter of fact in the way in which he presents things. I don't state them in that way. So I don't really know why, what horseshoe theory confirmation is this? That Jimmy Aiken and I are both, right there. So we need to debate Jimmy Aiken and I versus whoever they put on their A tier for Protestant apologists with Richard Redeemed Zoomer. We'll have to have a debate between us and see like the A tier lists who wins out in the end.
I just kind of dumped them all onto the list. So we'll be ranking the best and the worst Catholic apologist from A to D here. So I've got like every
okay. What doesn't make sense to me? Okay, what in the world is religious hippie doing on here? And what in the world is Lila Rose doing on here? It doesn't make any sense. What is the sort of thought process behind half of these picks? I don't know why. Then, like, somebody like Sam Shamoon, like, sure, he defends things that, are Catholic doctrine, but he doesn't really, like, in principle, that much defend Catholicism.
What you could possibly think of on this list, just about. If there's somebody missing, chat, you let me know in the comments who you'd like to see in a future tier list.
Nobody missing.
I feel like I did a pretty good job getting just about everybody on here.
You know what's crazy though is that whatever I say, I kind of get in crap for it, not you, because I'm the non-Catholic person. So like I'm gonna get a bunch of messages after this. Like, yo, you think I'm D tier,
bro? What did you? Why did you rank?
Also, why is there no F tier and S tier?
D. That's rough. Oh, but well, this is all for fun. So please don't send them hate mail. We're messing around. We're having fun.
Dude, this entire stream is my hate mail towards this list. I will, for all of you guys, I will be your voice representing the hate mail for this video. Okay, I will represent the hate mail. But it's hard to hate on it because as I said, you can't really it's hard to get mad. It's hard to get mad. It's like getting mad at a kid when they're helping their parents cook and then they just dump a bunch of salt in the dish. It's like it's hard to get mad at a kid for dumping a bunch of salt in the dish. It's hard to get mad at Cleve for ranking Catholic apologists badly. It's like, did anybody really think that this would go any other way? Like, did you really think this?
We'll be ranking them A to D. So I guess we could just get into it, man.
Yeah, for sure.
So the first one we have on the list is William Albrecht.
Sure, where's your thoughts, bro? Peter Diamond?
See, this is the thing. I was telling this before we started recording. I don't even watch. I can't remember the last time William Albrecht came up in my recommendations.
Yeah, I think he used to be okay for like the basic stuff. Like his pet thing was like Mariology, wasn't it? Like he was doing like Mariology streams for like a long time. I think he still does them, but I don't think he's as prominent as he used to be. And from what I can remember, he's not been engaging in debates that he promises to do. So I don't know. I'd say maybe in the past he was maybe like a B. I think maybe now I'd probably put him in like a C tier.
Dude, what is this reasoning? He promised debates and didn't do them, so therefore he's C tier.
Because I haven't seen too much from him lately, and the last thing I
haven't seen. See, this is the normie mind right here. He insert first thing that is non-essential to being a good apologist. Insert second thing. I haven't seen him on my recommended in a while. This is like when my 8-month-old, when I leave the room and they forget about my existence. Same idea. It's like William Albrecht, he hasn't been in my recommended in a while, so he must suck. What does that have anything to do with whether he's bad or good? But you have to remember, if you are out of sight, for most people, you are out of mind. Okay, you do not exist. When I am not on your recommended list, when I am not popping up in your recommended on YouTube, when you're not seeing my notifications, when you're not hitting subscribe and notification bell, in your mind, I become worse. Okay? This is just how it is. They don't see you, they don't think of you. All of a sudden, in their mind, you become worse. See, I told you it would be like this. I only watched, I'll be honest, I only watched the section where they talked about me. I was curious, okay? Saw it popped up, saw myself in the thumbnail. I got baited, okay? I got baited to listen to the section where they talked about me. The rest of it, I just knew it would be like this.
Heard from him was like Mariology stuff.
That
And
makes
those
sense,
were okay. Those were like okay videos.
Mhm.
But I think, in my opinion, I'd put him a C. You think that's fair?
Yeah, I think that's fair.
All right, so we got Catholic Sam here. So he's kind of a newer
I don't know much
apologist.
about
Where would
this
you
guy.
put him on the list?
I'd put him. I don't know. Definitely not.
Oh, hold up.
Definitely not the
My
top
list
two.
is all
Definitely not the
jacked
top
up.
two.
My list is all jacked up. Hold on, I got to do A, B, C,
Oh,
D.
messing up the alphabet. Dude, no way he did E. Do we forget how grading works? Okay. Guys, he forgot how grading works. He did E. He did E. What is this? He did E. He did A, B, C, D, E for a grading list. And before that, he did A, B, C, D. Forgot F, and he didn't put S on there. What are we even doing here? Is he gonna catch it?
E. There you go. There you go.
He doesn't
Okay, that's
catch
better. Do you want to start over? It was messed up.
Nah, it's all good for the memes.
Okay. There you go.
He did.
I
He's
don't
not
think
gonna
Catholic
catch
Sam
it. Is he eventually gonna catch it? Wait, I'm at 304 right now. He never catches it. Dude, this is crazy. He's just ranking people E tier. Yo, that's so awesome. I'm E tier.
I don't think Catholic Sam's an apology. He's more of like an Instagrammer guy. So I could even put him at the bottom, which is gonna suck because he knows you personally.
All right, Catholic Sam. not an apologist. We'll put him there.
I have not
Dude, these
seen this man
ads
on like
are.
a formal
I'm
debate.
getting enraged by these ads.
It's like putting me up there with like Muhammad Hijab. Like it just doesn't like that's not who we are.
Well, didn't Catholic Sam debate who's that dude? Didn't he debate Taco Talks, or was that Jesus and whatnot?
It could have been Jesus and whatnot.
Maybe.
I don't know
think,
any
I
of
think
these new Instagram guys, like the Catholic Sam guy, the Jesus and whatnot guy. I don't know much about them. Sorry, guys. Cannot give my insight into this.
Catholic Sam was moderating or something. That was a wild debate, dude.
Dude,
Because
Eric McCabe,
Taco was like,
A tier.
he's like, I'm not praying with
Lila
neither of you.
Rose,
This was right
S
after
tier.
the
Oh yeah, he thinks they're like completely heretics. Like we
Yeah.
don't even pray with them.
yeah, that was a wild one, but it was because
Who's
he could have
completely
led it. He could have led the prayer or something. But this was like a prayer for when that Catholic school had the I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And he was like, no, I'm not praying. I'm like, dang, dude, that's not good.
That's crazy.
Wait, what is I completely lost this. I was thinking about
View. This was right after the
Oh yeah, he thinks they're like completely heretics. Like
okay, who's completely heretic?
Catholic Sam was moderating or something. That was a wild debate, dude. Because
mhm.
Taco was like, he's like, I'm not praying with neither of you. This was right.
Okay, he was real. Dude, Taco Talks is one of the realest ones in the game. Obviously, he's just wrong, but
I'd put him by William Albrecht.
You put him in a C.
Yeah, I'll put him in a C tier.
All right,
Eric
we'll
McCabe's
put Eric
tier.
McGabe just as good as
McCabe.
William Albrecht. You heard it here first. Lila Rose, as far as apology, she just had a conversation with Gavin Ortland.
Wait, no
like a couple
way.
days ago, actually.
No way. Really? What? Who thought this was a good idea? Can somebody tell her to like not do that, please? I guarantee. Okay, actually, here's the hot take on that. It probably both of them sucked in the debate, if I had to guess. But most of the Catholics who are watching Lila Rose and who thought they sat down, they saw the thumbnail and they thought, I'm going to unironically watch a debate between Lila Rose and Gavin Ortland because I think maybe Lila Rose will make some good points. If there's somebody sitting there watching this, there will be no damage to their faith because they will just hear what Lila Rose has to say and be like, oh yeah, good point. You got good point, even if it sucks. So this is what I'm saying. This is the point is like, I can imagine there are a solid like 10, 15% of online Catholics who, in light of this debate between Lila Rose and Gavin Ortland, would put her like S tier. This is nothing. This is the black pill. Nothing matters. Nothing that you could be Lila Rose saying stuff in a debate with Gavin Ortland, and people will think you made good points. And nothing that I say matters. I could go on here. Maybe that. No, I'm not going to do that. That would be immoral. I would think it's immoral for me to do this. But I could go on there and I could just like pull the craziest slop ever. Just the craziest slop, just like make stuff up. I could just make stuff up and say whatever in a convincing way, in an entertaining way. And most people, most normal, ordinary people would just buy what I have to say. Like I don't need to read. I don't need to sit around reading. I don't need to study. I don't need to quote anybody. I can just make stuff up and people will just hear it and be like, good point. Like a large contingent. Like to be in this business of the whole Catholic apologetics business or any sort of religious apologetics business, or in that way, I guess, any sort of like online content creation business, you don't have to actually like make any good points. You don't have to say anything convincing. You just have to be mildly entertaining and say something with force in it. Like give it in a way in which people will listen to that and they will adhere to it just because of the way you said it. Like I've learned a long time ago that I could just make stuff up. Like I could have been making stuff up for the past 5 years and like not reading at all, not studying at all, just like ignoring all controversy, ignoring all refutations of anything that I have to say, just doubling down. I could just it literally doesn't matter. Like it does not matter if you are thinking that the reason why I study and find out these arguments and present them, if you think the reason why is because I think I'm going to convince people better, then if you go into it with that mindset, you're done. You're cooked. You'll be sorely disappointed. You will crash and burn. You will hate it, right? That's not why you go in and say that. You do it because it's simply speaking, you do it first and foremost because it's the right thing. You do it because it is immoral to say lies. Like that's the first reason why. You don't do it to be more convincing. If I wanted to be more convincing and I wanted to convince more people to Catholicism, I don't know, I'd take some classes in rhetoric and I would spend more time talking in front of a camera to hone my rhetorical skills. That's what I would do. I wouldn't study more. Studying has nothing to do with this medium. And it's sort of the question of, okay, what is the end goal? What is the sort of end goal? I mean, the end goal, maybe one day I'll write and maybe articles and books and stuff like that, and I will have found enough people. I'll have stumbled upon enough people from YouTube that maybe they'll read these articles and books eventually. But really, it's kind of just, it would be stupid of me to always just continue to just yap in front of a camera. Eventually I need to quit. Eventually I need to throw in the towel because this medium, it has intrinsic limitations. It is to try to popularize something that is, if something is worth listening to, it's not worth popularizing because everybody's just going to misunderstand what you're saying or not understand it. Okay. And you'll get the people who are able to understand it. Most of them are already going to have access to it or are already going to be exposed to it or could be more efficiently engaged in other ways than making YouTube videos. This is probably the least efficient way to like seek out people. This is what I'm saying. Like I could just literally say the exact same stuff that Lila Rose is saying and have a big audience. Like that's just a matter of fact. And no matter how much out there you think you're going to do more studying and find out better arguments and, state these better arguments, and this is all of a sudden just going to de facto convince more people, buddy, you are sorely mistaken about your average man. You've not begun to understand the depth of the problem. You have not taken the black pill hard enough to understand what the problem is and come out on the other side. You do not understand it. Okay. So that's all that I have to say about the Lila Rose.
I haven't watched it yet. I saw the
situation.
trailer for it, but I haven't seen the whole thing. I actually think this is not Catholic apologetics, but I've watched her like pro and anti-abortion stuff, and she's really good.
Yeah, but as far as like Catholic apologetics,
That continuing.
where would you think?
Probably D. honestly.
The D tier.
Because it's not her thing. Like, she's Catholic, but it's like, if you said it was like social issues, it should be like on top.
Right.
What are we doing here? Lila Rose is an A tier apologist for social issues. This approves the theory. This proves the theory. Literally, the fact that Lila Rose is an A tier is the fact that she doesn't talk about this enough. If she talked about Catholic issues more, they would have ranked her A tier. That is the only consequence to draw from what they said. I am completely vindicated on all of this. I was right. I called it from the beginning. I didn't even need to watch this. I know how they think. You have to get into the mind of the normie. This is how they think. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know, I'm not saying that these people are like immoral or stupid or anything like that. Like, don't get me wrong. That's not what I'm saying. This is just how they think. It is a fact of life. You can bitch and moan and complain about this all you want, but it's a fact of life. You have to swallow the black pill and recognize there's nothing you can do about it. This will always be there. And if you want to go out there and convince people of Catholic doctrine, you have to keep in mind that this is how your average person thinks. If you don't understand that, people aren't going to understand at all what you're saying. It's going to go over their heads. So you better have a different reason for saying what you're saying, or else it's just completely useless. If you think you're going to, if you're going to have this notion that you're going to be able to go out there and be this great popularizer of, you know, more advanced doctrine, not going to happen, buddy. It's just not going to happen.
Right, like a pro-life issue should be like A tier. A tier.
Mhm.
I told you.
Maybe B, A, B tier. But the Catholic apologetics, yeah. There were some people, I heard that they got into I didn't watch the entire video. I heard they got into like a kind of a back and forth on Catholic theology, and she was just like giving kind of deflective answers, or maybe not as adequate as they could have been.
I just don't think it's her thing. Yeah.
Yeah, certain people have certain niches. Cameron Bertuzzi.
I think he's a B.
S tier.
You think he's B?
I think he's
I don't
pretty
know.
good.
I don't know if I would put him on B. I would put him C. I'd put him C. The reason I would do so, I mean, maybe in between a B and a C. I do think he's a little bit better.
Give him a
than
C
Albrecht.
plus. Give him a C plus.
C plus. Okay, honorary C plus. I'll say I do think he's a little better than Albrecht. So maybe he could be a B. He's right on the line for me.
Mm-hmm.
But I've seen him make some arguments that were not so good in reference to Vatican II. He could have made them a little bit better, but he also like super hyper.
Dude, and this is another thing. The reason, do you want to know why? I haven't even watched the Kevin section, but I can already see it. Do you know the reason why Kevin is D tier? Because he said like a bunch of stuff about Vatican II that they just like intuitively thought sounded super cringe. That's the reason. Like I'm guaranteeing you right now, sitting in front of you, speaking directly to you. That's why Kevin got D tier. So Cameron Bertuzzi, it's because he said something on Vatican. Like if he was like Peter Diamond, they probably would have gave him an S tier. If he was like Vatican II is a heresy and didn't even try to demonstrate this, it would have made him S tier. This is just how this stuff works. The cringe based barometer, that's just like the intuitive, just like vibes. That the vibes are more important. That's what you guys don't realize. That's just a fact of life. If you have better vibes when you're saying something, if you sound more based when you're saying something, then there's just going to be a greater adherence. They might not understand what you're saying. They're just going to be like, oh, wow, okay, sounds great. They can watch what you're saying and you can explain it multiple times over years. And then you just don't even grasp what you're saying. It's just a fact. You have to live with it and you have to adjust for this fact. Sorry.
Promoted Trent Doherty. Do you remember that? And those debates did not go very well. But I guess I can't really impute that on him. But for me, I would say maybe just a C plus.
Well, he only been Catholic for a few years, hasn't he?
Yeah, he did the like big reveal at the Vatican.
Yeah, that was like
It's not
during
rad.
the lockdown thing or something
I think so.
years ago. Yeah. That was only been around for a while.
Yeah, he was out there at the Vatican smoking cigars with Matt Fradd on the balcony there.
Yeah, I remember that.
He was like, I have an announcement to make.
That was crazy.
That's a cool kind of scene, though. All right, so Trent Doherty.
Why is Cleve being so nice? I'm a bit suspicious of Mr. Cleve. He's being very nice to all the people he's talking about. I got a little suspicion. I don't know. This is pretty sus. He's usually not like this. I mean, not that I am a frequent watcher of Cleveland Antiquity, but at least from what pops up on my feed on Twitter, doesn't seem to be the type of guy to.
Do you know who this is?
I barely know
I mean, to be fair, I'm mean too, so I can't even talk.
him and
I
everything.
would be mean. I would be mean to everybody, even if I was doing like an orthodox tier list, I'd be mean to everybody. Sorry, it's just that's why I don't do tier lists. I'd be too mean. That and I just think they're inherently dumb, but I would just be too mean.
Thing I've seen it. Like, I
He's
don't want to
A
put him
tier,
aside.
dude. He's 8. He's the best Catholic apologetics guy on YouTube right now.
Sure, if that's what you want to
Yeah.
say, it's your channel, man.
Number one. No, I don't think so. I think he's probably E tier.
I think it's a whole different tier. I think Catholic Sam even has.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
I would definitely put Catholic Sam above Trent Doherty.
Oh my goodness.
Dude, but yeah, every debate this guy's been in has been not good.
Okay, they kind of cooked here. Although their reasoning, okay, never
He seems
mind.
like he's doing better now. I saw that interview that he had with Matt Fradd, and he seemed like, in a better.
That wasn't too
headspace.
bad. That wasn't too bad.
Yeah, I thought that was a little bit better. So maybe next time, if I do this tier list in the future, he can move up a slot or two on the coveted Cleave to Antiquity tier list chart.
The yearly annual report. There you go.
Yeah, we got to keep tabs on everybody. All right, Divine Mercy Apologetics. Have you ever watched
Don't know
this
this
guy's stuff?
guy.
Yeah, he's good. I'd put him close to Cameron.
Close to Cameron, so like a C plus.
C plus. I wouldn't
All right,
put him B minus. But
I'll take your word for it. I haven't seen him too much other than like when he's been on like Albrecht's show or something.
Mm-hmm. He's pretty neutral. Like he's not like super controversial or anything like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Joe Heschmeyer.
Man, okay. All the big names in Catholicism, I find not super like convincing.
Dude, you don't find Catholic. Okay, dude, I'm gonna crash out on this. You literally made a video where you were like, I'm struggling with Catholicism. I hate to be that guy to bring this up, but this is public. Okay, you said like I'm having some struggles with that's fine. Everybody can have struggles. Okay, everyone can have doubts. But then to go on this like tier list ranking, everybody, you're like, I don't find most Catholic apologists very convincing. Really? You don't say it. Well, I don't find many Orthodox apologists convincing. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm not Orthodox. I have a lot of doubts and rejections of orthodoxy. Okay, I'm gonna be. He seems like a nice guy. He seems like a very genuine guy. But come on, like, what are we doing here, buddy? What are we doing here? Like, somebody just needs to be honest with you, not sugarcoat and be like, buddy, this is Cole. What are you doing? You're posting these videos about having these particular struggles, and then you're going and making a tier list about Catholic apologists saying you don't find many of the big names very convincing. Really? You don't say. Like, none of us could have called. No, I couldn't have seen this coming. You're telling me this now for the first time. What are we doing here, buddy? What are we doing here?
So I'll give you an example. Did you put Scott Hahn on here, by the way?
Yeah, he's on here.
Okay. Well, I'll keep my thoughts for that one. But like Joe Heschmeyer is just like, he's good, and I believe he's good. But if I wasn't a Catholic, I wouldn't believe what he was saying.
Then how is he good? What are these? I don't get the methodology. I'm trying to get into the mind of the normie. I'm trying to investigate. I'm trying from like an outsider looking in. Like I'm in the corner of the party saying like, oh, they don't like Joe Heschmeyer. And I'm trying to sit there and like analyze the mind of like, what actually makes the mind tick to where like you say something in this way or in that way, and they're like, oh, that's a good apologist, or oh, that's a bad apologist. I just don't get it. This like methodology doesn't make any sense. Like, oh, he's really good. What he says is really good, but I don't think if I was Catholic, I would find it too convincing. If you found it really convincing, you probably would be Catholic. If you found what Joe Heschmeyer had, it's kind of part and parcel of the whole thing. I don't get this methodology. I really don't.
Like I've thought about it for a while, and I don't know what to think about that.
I'll say this. I'll say this about Joe. I think he's a very good rhetorician. I think he's good at debate and pre-debate tactics.
Mm-hmm.
So a couple of times, and I've said this to a couple of people I know in private, he's very good at picking prompts that favor his side, like overwhelmingly, without the other person realizing this. Because I remember when he was trying to set up debates on Bertuzzi's channel, he had sent out an email to not an email. They had tagged us in a post or something, and I guess they had emailed a couple of different people. But they were trying to set up a prompt on the canon of Scripture, but it was only is the Protestant canon correct?
Mhm.
And it was like, you can't push back on the Deuterocanon, though. You can't push back on our canon. It's just a debate on, is the Protestant canon correct? So
That's kind of what I mean. Yeah, it's like, as a Catholic, I already believe it. It's like a
Right.
statement that I'm just not really questioning my own beliefs. So it's hard for me to judge type of thing.
Mm-hmm. I will say one thing that he's good at, though, very good. I mean, I just said something he's good, but another thing that he's very good at is the basics, like real presence in the Eucharist, baptismal regeneration. In almost every debate he's done on those two topics, and the content that he's made on these two topics, I think are actually pretty good. And he practices brevity. Like he's he's concise on these two topics.
He's good at all the stuff I agree with him on, and he's bad at all the stuff I disagree with him on. That's honestly, it's like, guys, it happens. It just so happens to be that everything I agree with this guy on, he's really good at. Everything I disagree with this guy on, he's really bad at. It just happens to be. Isn't that crazy how it always works out like that?
Topics in particular. So I would personally put him maybe at like a B.
Yeah, he's good for B.
I would say Heschmeyer is probably a B. I'd say for the basics, because I saw his baptism debate with needgod.net. I thought he blew that out of the water.
He did, but we're also talking about needgod.net.
That's not a tall order.
I was gonna say, like, the bar is not the greatest, not the highest bar in town.
So you're telling me when I do the needgod.net tier or the Protestant tier list, I need to put him at the top?
If he's not A tier, I'm unsubscribing, honestly.
That's true. All right, Brian.
Dude, the lack of self-awareness is crazy.
Brian Holdsworth, what do you think?
C minus. Not even C. That's because I watched this video on do Muslims and Christians worship the same God, and as an ex-Muslim, I just didn't find it convincing in the way. Like, I try to be as neutral as possible, even though I'm Catholic. I'm trying to be as neutral as possible with the question, and that
brilliant. As a Catholic, I find myself as neutral as possible when the magisterium says stuff. I tried to watch a few videos on YouTube, but what the YouTube guy has said, I didn't really find it convincing. So I'm gonna kind of suspend myself right there between the two. Honestly, this is how I think about religion too. The church said something, and I looked up the church's teaching on YouTube. I don't really find that much stuff convincing. So since couldn't find a convincing YouTube video, I'm just going to suspend my judgment. I'm just going to sit here and wait. Maybe one day somebody will make a really good YouTube video on it, and I'll find myself really agreeing with it. But until then, I'm just going to wait. I'm just going to sit and wait.
One, I find when Catholics answer it, they're not seeing
what is going
the
on
question
here
correctly. This is a whole different discussion, but I just find it's kind of similar to Joe
This is
Heschmeyer,
like all the goy slop coming up right
has he
now.
done debates? Or is just,
dude, what is going on? Oh no, I exited out of it. So over. Okay, let me try to find it again. Goodness, did I lose my spot? Okay, I didn't lose. Oh, what the frick? Okay, I didn't lose my spot. Okay. Let me try to share my screen again. Sorry, guys. I'm just awful at this. Oh, okay. Wait, let me put myself. Okay, there we go. Okay, let me full screen it. Boom.
I don't know that Brian Holdsworth has ever done a debate. I think he's just a video guy.
True, he's real.
Maybe that's what I'm reacting to. It's just the videos.
Debate guys.
It's the same type of
video guys.
videos.
W.
So what do you think? A D or a C?
I mean, at least Lila Rose's videos are entertaining. So we'll put him beside that.
It's over. It's over. At least Lila Rose's videos are entertaining. You know what we need to do? We need to get Lila Rose to make a video on Vatican II. We're getting Lila Rose to make a video on Vatican II. Maybe we'll have a flood of Vatican II patriots supporting the council.
So I'll make the executive decision. I'll put him at a D. There you go. What about Jesus and whatnot?
Don't know who this guy
So
is.
he has done debates.
He has
I've
done
seen him
debates.
like pop up on.
So
I
he
don't.
puts
I
him
don't know
above
if
Catholic Sam for
has
sure.
done them. He has. Oh, you know what? Actually, I think Catholic Sam and him do a call-in debate show or something. I haven't really seen it though. But I remember seeing a post about it.
Call in debate show. I'm gonna call in and debate them.
I've never watched him do it.
That's fair.
I've never, which is funny because I've talked to Catholic Sam like maybe like once a week. I talk to him. I've never watched his stuff.
Oh man. All right. So what do you think? Jesus and whatnot.
I'll put him D2.
A D?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just because I don't know. There's something about if I see someone on like a TikTok or an Instagram, it lowers you on the tier a little bit.
He's real for that, okay? If I see somebody, if somebody has an Instagram or a TikTok, rather than the very the theological powerhouse of YouTubers, if I see them on Instagram or TikTok, it lowers them in my mind. But we can. This is real. This is real. I'm telling you, there are literally millions of people in the world, in the Catholic apologetics sphere, that think exactly like this. You can hate it, you can laugh at it, but it's a fact of life, and you have to decide how you are going to interact with the world in light of the fact that these people are the probably majority of those watching these videos.
If you have an Instagram at all.
Especially TikTok. If you're on TikTok, it's like, okay, we're kind of lowered. There's a tier lowered.
So if
This is real though.
So get this: if you're Catholic and you have Instagram at all, you're automatic D tier or lower.
Basically, yeah.
This is our new standard of judgment. Well, I think and I saw him on Taco Talks or debating Taco Talks, and I thought he did pretty good. I think he should probably get maybe a C. I don't know.
That's acceptable.
I think we should bump him up to a C, because I did see that. And I thought he did hold his own there. I haven't really seen him in any other
He held his
debates,
own against Taco.
but I'd put him about there with Albrecht.
Yeah, I can see that.
Trent Horn, the man, the myth, the legend. What do you think?
I'm gonna say B. I think it's really good.
You think he's a B?
I think he's a B. Maybe a B plus. The reason why I say this is because he's very he sticks to the point with debates. I've seen him do it, and he doesn't like, even when the opponent's trying to like deflect from a thing, he sticks with it.
Yeah, I'd agree. I'd agree with a B, maybe A minus as far as like the actual Catholic debaters go. For at least what we're working with here, I think Trent, he isn't afraid to have the conversations. At least he didn't used to be. Nowadays, I think he's picking his opponents a little more carefully, but I think he does a relatively good job, especially with Protestants. I really don't think he did well in his debate with Gavin Ortland, surprisingly. The one on Sola Scriptura, which I think should have been a slam dunk for him, but what it ended up doing was that was like the launch point for Gavin's career. So yeah. I think most of the time, I think B is probably good. I definitely disagree with him on a lot of stuff, but I'd say as far as rhetoric and stuff goes, B is appropriate.
Yeah.
Jimmy Akin,
the GOAT.
I can't give him an A because if I give him an A, it's just because he's entertaining. It doesn't mean he's good at debating.
Did you just say? Is this? I hope this is a bit. I have to give Jimmy Akin an A because he is entertaining. Jimmy Akin is famous for his skills of entertainment. Not saying anything bad about the guy, but he is famous for his skills of entertainment. This is true.
An A because if I give him an A, it's just because he's entertaining. It doesn't mean he's good at debating. Okay. But I did watch him. Was it Jimmy Akin? It was him versus an atheist. Who was the atheist? No, it was Is the Gospel Reliable? I think he did really good with that.
I saw him 3 years ago on Pints with Aquinas, just beating the brakes off of the other Paul in a debate on, I think it was Sola Scriptura. We were reacting to it in a chill stream not that long ago, and he was like, "Can you tell me in the Bible?"
Dude, that was so funny. That was my look. I would count myself friends with the other Paul. I like the guy, but that was really funny, and I still make fun of him for it. That was really funny when Jimmy Aiken just made him just like clam up. I understood what the other Paul was saying. I did. But just to watch other Paul just kind of get mugged upon was really funny. And it wasn't on Pints of the Aquinas, it was on Captain Christianity. So a little bit of a correction there to the record.
Where it said that this like structure of the church or something is going to go away, and we're no longer going to have this like infallible teaching authority or something. Like where is this? Because we obviously see this in scripture. Where does the scripture say this is going to go away? Another Paul was sitting there like, he like had no answer.
Yeah,
so he like deflected, and he's like, well, you said something about the magisterium, so I'm going to talk about that. And then he didn't let it go. 30 minutes later, Jimmy Aiken was like, Paul, show me in the Bible. Like, I didn't forget.
It's kind of funny.
Not running.
That's hilarious.
So you think maybe B?
I gotta give him an A. I just think he's good. I remember the debate now. It was who was that? Ehrman. Bart Ehrman. He debated Bart Ehrman on if the gospels are reliable, and he did amazing.
Okay. I would personally say he's a B, but I'll let you pick the A. I'll let you give him the A.
Come on, we can't be doing this.
So long as I can also give Michael Lofton an A. No.
True. Dude, if
okay.
Lofton
So
an
what do you think about Reason and Theology Live? Michael Lofton.
It's Reason and Theology Live, and I'm your host, Michael Lofton. He did it wrong. He did the whole bit wrong.
Oh, I'm trying to think of if I watched the debate or not. I think it's pretty average. So C's an average, but the C's looking too crowded.
C is looking too crowded. Don't worry about that. We'll give everybody a C.
Bell curve? Question mark?
You got to fail.
Bell curve. You know how bell curves work. The average is like most people.
Yeah, I would say C.
Yeah, you gotta be charitable. You gotta be hyper qualified.
C for charity. There you go.
I like I will say I like Lofton's news coverage. I think since he's pivoted from doing like more apologetic work to doing the news coverage, I think that's actually been a good transition for him. Not a huge fan of it from doing like more apologetic work to doing the news coverage. I think that's actually been a good transition for him.
That has not been a good anybody telling Lofton that he should continue doing like the news stuff on Reason and Theology, because have you guys seen this? I was actually thinking of doing like a video, a live stream when I had nothing else to do. Let me pull this up. I was thinking of doing one on Michael Lofton and his based turn towards like anti-Israel stuff. I was thinking of doing this, but my editor, I was like, dude, should I do this or should I review this tier list? And what he said, it was crazy. He's like, well, I literally don't think, I think that it's been so long since Michael Lofton has, really been, like a force within the apologetics realm. I think most people, like most of the up and comers, a lot of the people who watch my channel, they probably like, it's maybe a 50-50 on if they even know who Michael Lofton is anymore. And I think about that. I'm like, dang, people don't remember. I remember like 6-7 years ago, you'd listen to the interviews he'd have with Eric Ybarra and some random scholar, and you just listen to it and you'd listen to it, and or all of those things, like the comedy shows that Michael Lofton used to do. And then you had like the ascendancy when he was, working with Catholic Answers. He was on Pints of the Aquinas and everything like that. And then he just squandered it. He squandered it. And now he's doing like random, like clickbait news streams and stuff. And he switched the name of his channel to Cross-Examined with Michael Lofton. And he started a second channel. What is it called? Something like Knowledge and Wisdom with Michael Lofton. And he uses like AI editing on that one. And yeah. So honestly, this is not a good move. I don't know why anybody is trying to encourage this for like doing the news for Lofton. Anyways, that's just my constructive criticism.
Not a huge fan of his political stuff, but when he does like Vatican news and stuff like this, I think that can actually be interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe not so much on the theology side, but the news aspect, I enjoy it. I watch it. All right.
Dude, Cleve is one of the true patriots left watching Michael Lofton. That's crazy.
Sam Shimon. Where are we putting this man on the list?
I think if you take away quality of video, if we take away lack of proper wording and the cursing and all that, he's up there with Jimmy Akin.
You think he's A tier?
I think he's at least B-er. Like his
man.
arguments, I think, are pretty good.
I don't know. Well, he's personally said that he's not. So I think he's okay. I'll qualify this. I think he's very good against Muslims. I think he's one of the best anti-Islam debaters, rhetoricians out there. I think he's excellent at that. I think his Catholic apologetics work, though, maybe is not the best. And I think he's said in the past himself, he's like, I don't really consider myself that good of a Catholic apologist. He's like, I more do like apostolic Christianity or something.
If it's for defending specifically Catholicism, it's lowered. I agree.
Yeah, I think for his Islam stuff, you're probably right. I think he would be about A tier. But as far as defending Catholicism, I don't know if I would do that. So what do you think? What do you think?
If it's Catholicism, it'd be B minus. So I'll put him in B. That's because the basics of Catholicism, when it comes to apostolic stuff, he can do pretty well. When it gets to specifics like filioque or something, then probably not.
All right, let's look. Sips with Sarah. Have you ever seen his show?
Yo, yeah, we're good friends.
Okay.
I'm trying to think, because he hasn't done debate either. He just does videos.
Okay.
And they're mostly towards Protestants. He does good with Mariology. But I'd put him. Man, he's gonna hate me. I'll put him on a D tier, to be honest.
There you go. Sips with Sarah. Write your hate mail now.
The only reason why is because I'm trying to think, as a Protestant, would I be convinced by his videos? And I don't think I would.
That's a good way to look at it. If you were a Protestant, would you be convinced by his videos? That's good. I think sometimes that takes like, people can give in-depth arguments or whatever. But I think for most Protestants, you're gonna need stuff with like breath.
Dude, why did they choose the Eric Ybarra, like, oh crap. Did I do this again? Okay, here we go. The Eric Ybarra like mogging face. That's crazy. Just realized that. Okay, what are we doing? What? Okay. Ooh, okay, I got rid of them.
Brevity kind of short things they're going to remember, or at least threads to pull. If we're looking at these guys, I mean, I would agree.
Viewing. That's crazy.
Swan Sauna.
I have no idea what this is.
No. It's over, boys. You know that it's been a while when you hear the name Swan Sona and the response is, I don't know who that guy is. Because he went away to join the Dominicans, and then he went away to grad school, and after that, he kind of got off the scene, and I think he's doing videos again now. But that's like Swan Sona. If you don't know who he is, then you're probably have only been in like the last 2 or 3 years. It's over. Swan. I mean, I can never say anything negative about Swan. I guess I'll put it like that. I'll put it like that.
So he did a couple of responses to Gavin. He's more like an academic type. He streams with Stephen Boyce, but he also said, I don't know. I think he's okay. If you don't know who he is, I'm just going to slap him in C.
Okay. Now I recognize when you say James Divine Mercy Apologetics. Yes, I have talked to him. Yes. Okay. Sorry.
Because I think he's maybe like middle of the road here.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Scott Hahn.
I have a lot.
Yeah, that's sort of what I meant, the slavery take, and I just generally like the views on the views on scripture, I guess would be the best way of putting it. Is I very much not appreciate his takes on that, but I can't really be like super negative towards the guy. He was there from the start, from even before before I was Catholic. So it's hard for me to like go hard against him.
Hate relationship with Scott Hahn. I've never talked to him personally, but I know I'm supposed to love him, but I don't find any of his stuff convincing.
Mm-hmm.
That's like I read the first book I ever read by a Catholic apologist was Rome Sweet Home, and this is when I first became a Christian. And I did the same question. I was like, if I was not a Catholic, would I find this book convincing? And it was a similar feeling. And it was like, I don't think I would find it convincing.
No, he's just tan, dude.
And there was
he lives in
actually,
Florida.
I think you would appreciate this. They were talking about orthodoxy ones. I forget the context, but I feel like the concept of orthodoxy being not united because of ethnicity is overblown sometimes.
I saw that.
You know what I'm talking? What was the video?
He did the whole which church thing. Like he's like, well, which church are we talking about? How could it be one church if
is it Greek or Antiochian
or it's Russian or it's this? Yeah, that's
like that's not the same thing
here. Yeah. Well, it's like okay, you have jurisdiction. So what are you saying? Like, which Catholic church are we talking? Chaldean? We talking, the Byzantine Rite? We talking TLM? Which one are we? You know,
they're just saying they're in the union, so it's like it's not
right.
It's the same church, and that's what when I saw that I was like, yeah, this is a low argument.
Yeah. So where would you put him on the list?
This is like the most apologetics brain discussion of Scott Hahn I've ever seen. This is like shameful.
People will definitely hate.
A Pines from a clip from a popular level show where he just happened to say these things that I don't like. I'm going to place him on a tier list, and I'm going to place him on, I don't know, D tier because of a clip on a popular level show where he said something that I just didn't like the argument that he put forward. Like, what is this? Like, what are we doing? I would crawl over broken glass for Dr. Scott Hahn. Okay, you keep his name out of your mouth.
Me for this, I'd put him D.
D tier. Yeah, I'd agree. Just for that argument alone. Honestly,
that argument lowered it a lot for me too. I was like, you can make an argument against orthodoxy, but that was a bad one. That was a really bad one.
The lack of self-awareness is like, dude, it's just enrages me. If you put Scott Hahn on D tier, put me on D tier too. You better not put me. If Scott Hahn's not on A tier, then don't put me on A tier. I don't want your A tier. I'm like Jesse Owens. I'm gonna throw your gold medals into the river. Okay. If you're gonna put him in the D tier, put me in the D tier as well.
This is
like such an internet brain take right here. It's like internet apologetics brain take. This is how these people think. Okay. You need to get into their minds if you want to see how they think. This is how they think.
It's a bad argument. All right. Yeah. The catechumen.
Ooh. I've only seen like two things, I think. And both of them were, what were they?
I know he did a debate with Redeemed Zoomer once, but I really don't remember how that went.
Mm-hmm.
I saw him I've seen him do videos in the past, but none of them really stick into my mind. Like, I just like.
That's the thing, yeah.
Yeah, like I've seen his stuff. It's just like the only one I remember was he did some Minecraft video with Zoomer after they debated or something.
It's kind of funny.
Well, Minecraft definitely lowers you a little bit.
Minecraft metric gives you automatic ET.
Okay. I only have 13 minutes left, guys. I can make it. I'm gonna get through this. Okay, I'm not going to promise. I will finish through this. I will not do half and half and put the other half behind a paywall. I refuse to do that. I will listen through this whole video. As painful as it gets, as painful as this gets. Okay, I cannot wait. Actually, I'm just gonna soak it in. I'm just gonna soak it in. It's gonna be excellent. It's gonna be fantastic. When they put they put Voice of Reason over Scott Hahn, and then they put Kevin, which I already know. They put Kevin in D tier, and if I had to guess, Eric Ybarra is probably going to be B tier for some reason. I can already guess.
That's funny.
That's worse than TikTok, honestly.
All right, where are we putting him?
Just because I don't know, I might put D. Just because I don't feel like if it's not memorable, it means it wasn't the best arguments.
It wasn't memorable. I forgot what he said. So it must not have been that good. D tier. The kind of, I'm telling you, this is the way, like, we can laugh at it, we can whatever, but no, this is like a solid 78. Like, he is just being brutally honest with your average man and how your average man thinks.
There you go.
It's just a force to be reckoned with, guys. If it's not memorable, you're, in their mind, your arguments aren't as good.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. If I've seen your videos, I just can't remember. Now, I don't have anything against this guy. Like, we have good interactions on X and stuff like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really can't remember much. All right, Voice of Reason. Where are we putting him on the list?
Brain rot, skull emoji.
To be honest, I gotta put him either B or A.
B or A. Scott Hahn, D list, because he gave this which church argument against orthodoxy. Voice of Reason, who gives the same argument, A tier. A tier. Scott Hahn, how many Latinas has Scott Hahn been with? 0. Voice of Reason, a lot. A tier. What is this?
To put him B or A?
I think he's really good.
Cortisol spiked.
Regardless of like
Yeah.
all that, like the actual arguments, I think are B or A.
I mean, if I'm going to
some
say
of the better ones,
if I'm going to compare him to William Albrecht, I would have to admit he is a little better than William Albrecht. So I would agree with like a B. I would agree with a B. I'd say he's better than Albrecht if he's the standard for this whole
the William Albrecht's the standard.
the William. We're going off of the Albrecht standard, okay? Albrecht is a solid C, so above that would be
dude. Putting Voice of Reason 2 tiers above Scott Hahn and 1 tier above 1 tier above William Albrecht is just like, this is criminal. This should be illegal. This should obviously be illegal. That's crazy.
To be way above that would be an A. There you go. This is the new gold standard.
This is gold standard.
This is the Albrecht standard.
Oh my goodness.
All right, let's see. Since 33 AD, this is Kevin.
Who's
kind of a newer guy. Have you seen his stuff?
Who is he?
I don't think so. Because I'm trying to think of who is he debated.
I don't know. I don't know that he's ever done a debate. He did a call-in on my show a while ago. If you consider that a debate. I mean, he did a call-in to Jay and lost. He did a call-in on my show.
He did a call-in with Jay and lost. Jay won. Everybody knows, no matter what happens, Jay wins. Okay, Jay has never lost a debate in his life.
Show, and in my opinion, it was more like a conversation. I don't think it would really be considered.
It was
too much like a debate.
Dude, I love that. It's either like I won, I crushed him, or it wasn't really a debate. It was basically just a conversation. I love it's just like I relish in this distinction, because you know that when they say that, if they were confident enough to say like I crushed him, I won, they would just say that. When they say, well, it wasn't really a debate, it was just a conversation, or well, it was just off the cuff or whatever, then they feel bad about how they did. This is a rule. This is a standard, okay?
And I guess it was kind of a debate, but there was like a panel and we're all discussing. But I don't know. He's kind of like he's like a quote mine YouTuber. So he tries to do like the whole quote mine thing. In my opinion, though, he'll take this stuff out of context. So I'm extremely biased on this. I would have to give him like a D.
Voice of reason, 2 tiers above Kevin. Same tier as Lila Rose. Unless Lila Rose talked about Catholicism, then she would be 3 tiers ahead. He's a quote mining YouTuber. He quotes things. And he takes them out of context, in my opinion. I mean, it's like, have you seen the stuff that Kevin quotes? Probably 90% of the stuff you haven't even read. Like, you couldn't pronounce the name of the book, buddy. So you keep Kevin out. You keep Kevin out of your mouth, okay? You keep Scott Hahn's name out of your mouth. You keep Kevin's name out of your mouth. If you put those two on D tier, you better put me on D tier. If I'm in A tier, I'm going to copyright strike the video, okay? You use my likeness without my permission. I will copyright strike okay, I'm joking. I'm not going to do that. I'm joking. And probably I couldn't even copyright strike the video if I wanted to. That's a joke. But what do you do, buddy? Buddy, let's sit down. Cleve, Ish. I know you didn't comment on this one. Cleve, let's sit down, buddy. What are you doing? Okay. How let's go back to first principles. How are you thinking in this way? What is entered in? Like, what sort of brainworm has entered in to where you were thinking like this? Like, I don't understand it. You know, I can address the fact I know most people think like this. Like, as I've said before, as I said this whole stream, like, I'm very conscious, very self-conscious in many ways about how people receive what I say and how people receive what other people say as well. I'm very conscious of this. But what I can never understand is how does this happen to somebody? How does, like, what must happen to somebody to where they think like this? Like, I don't think you're stupid. Like, I don't think that, you're like immoral and that's the reason why you're thinking like this. But like, what is this? Is this just like, I don't know. I can't even speculate. Like, how does somebody wake up in the morning and they go about their day-to-day lives? They make their coffee, right? They make their way to work. They punch in, they punch out. They get projects done on time. They come home, hang out with the family, maybe read a book or two here. Like, how are you able to live a relatively normal life as a functioning member of society? And this is how you think about things. It doesn't make any sense to me, buddy. And I'm not being condescending here, but what's going on? Like, what is there? Like, can you explain to me your thought process a little bit better? Like, could you explain to me, not only like give your opinion, but also explain to me, like, what are the steps of like, is it just, which I think it is it just like a vibe check thing? It's like, sorry, Kevin, I have to throw you under the bus, but like, Kevin's short. Okay. Kevin's like 5'2", I think. I'm super tall, right? Maybe he likes the navy. Maybe he likes the red. Maybe he thinks it looks cool. And he's like, okay, Wagner. I like his background too. Wagner, his takes are good. Kevin, he's a short Cuban guy. I don't think his takes are good anymore. Like, what is it? Is it really just like a vibe thing? Like, you just think my vibes are better than Kevin's vibes? Like, we literally do the same thing. We quote the same authors. Like, if you switched my voice out for Kevin's voice, it would probably be pretty hard to distinguish. If you like switched our editing styles, it would legitimately be hard to distinguish which video is mine and which video is Kevin's. Like, unironically, that's how close a lot of them are. And I think some of that's by design, but what is happening, buddy? Like how do you even like conceive of the world with this framework? Like, where did this come from? I'm very curious. Like, how does this happen to somebody? Is it just like you have to be part of the 10% of autists who have ascended beyond all the incidental considerations and you're able to think about things for what they really are? Like, is that the thing? Does it take some sort of like, I was given too much Tylenol as a baby, so therefore I can see the fact that what Wagner and Kevin are saying are basically the same thing? Like, why would you need to be like a Spurg to be able to see that thing? Like, that's not that hard to see. It's right there in front of you. So what is going on here? Anyways, I want to finish this before 8 o'clock. I have plans tonight. And I haven't eaten dinner yet, so I'm a little bit irascible.
Just because it seems like when he does the quote mines, he misses the critique most of the time. A lot of Protestants really like him, though, he's super nice to Protestants, and he'll make arguments that debunk other bad, like what he views to be a bad Catholic argument.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like almost doing their work for them sometimes. So Protestants like him, but I don't think he's that good, in all honesty.
I haven't watched much of his stuff, so I wouldn't know.
I'd say this based off of the video that he did responding to the Vatican II stuff. He was trying to conflate Jews and Muslims worshiping the same God as like the same thing. So he's like, if I could find somebody saying Jews worship the same God, then I could say Muslims worship the same God. And then the problem with that, though, is he grabbed like a whole bunch of quotes that were actually just talking about like Old Testament Jews. And he's like, look, church father.
They weren't doing that. They weren't doing. Kevin was actually quoting texts about contemporary Jews. That's actually what he was doing. And what is he supposed to do? Hey, Cleve, could you quote from the 3rd or 4th century a church father saying that Muslims don't worship the same God as Christians? Could you please find that in the 3rd or 4th century for me, Cleve? Because I mean that's what you're demanding the opposite from Kevin. So I'm sure you have plenty of 4th century fathers commenting on Islam, right? I'm sure you just got loads of quotes about that. So what is he supposed to do? What is he supposed? If you ask the question of okay, pre-4th, 5th century fathers commenting on this issue, what is Kevin supposed to do?
Others say the Jews are worshiping God, so therefore they're worshiping God now, like Talmudic apostates. No, it's not the same category.
Well, Christ wasn't there, so obviously not. That's a whole different thing.
Right. We're talking about pre-Christianity, not the new religion of Talmudic Judaism. So
yeah,
I would give him not an E. I'd give him a D. I'd give him a D.
I just remember Voice of Reason's debate with James White. That was really good.
Yeah, I think he did do well on the James White debate.
I don't know if there was another one if he did, but I remember the James White one was really good.
He did one with Benjamin Michael, Orthodox Luigi, and
yes,
he got smoked so bad that Michael Lofton deleted the video off of his YouTube channel. I remember that.
Really?
Oh yeah. I think Ben just did a reaction video to that, but Mike Lofton took it off of the Reason and Theology page because we're lost, and I guess people were bugging him about it, so he took the video down. I'd say that would be one clear cut one. I think he lost. I think Ubi did better in their debate too, but then again, I think that was very high tier. The Ubi war debate. I think
that was not high tier. That debate sucked. Okay.
All right, let's take a look. We got Wagner. I like Wagner. I think he's intelligent when it comes to like scholastic theology. I would probably put him in A tier.
He's definitely A. I would agree.
I'm gonna put Wagner in A tier. I will say this though, he does not do good in debates at all.
They got me. Okay, I'm cooked. You know, they hit me where it hurts. I just don't do that good at debates. What can I say? I'm just not that good at it. I've lost every debate that I've been in. What can I say? So sad. It's very sad. Might delete my channel, actually, over this. I'm not too good at them.
He is not a good debater.
True.
But I'd say like video content, as far as like knowing his own like system of theology and at least like historic Roman Catholicism, I'd say he does better than most.
What is that?
I'm basing this off of his videos too. I'm trying to think of a debate. I can't think of one that's like he done like amazing in. So yeah.
Well, he says himself all the time that that's not his skill set. So
what can I say? You hit me where it hurts. You hit me where it hurts. So I'm so glad that my videos carry. You know, the edited videos carry and do the streams carry. Maybe they carry. We'll see. Not too good at debates though. Very bad at them.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a controversial statement to say. Wagner says all the time. He's like,
I don't think it's controversial. True.
I'm not really a debater.
True.
Mhm.
Not really a debater.
Matt Frad. He's not
Why is
really
he
a
on this
debater either,
list?
but
Why is
He
Matt
makes
Pratt on
good
this
points
list?
still. I remember I went through a Protestant phase when I first converted, and I watched a video about the early church fathers, and he was quoting them, and he was the way he did it was quite convincing. So I definitely put him a B.
you think you
But-
put him a B, but he doesn't do debates though. I'd give him maybe a C. What do you think?
Okay, C's okay too. I just
Yeah.
think when he
Matt
he
Frad's
doesn't do
higher than
debates, but when he
Kevin.
does talk about
I mean, Matt Frad's basically like a host. Like he's basically he's like a Catholic Joe Rogan. He just hosts people. How is he higher than Kevin? This doesn't even make any sense. And how is he higher than Scott Hahn, who you were like complaining about an argument he gave on Matt Frad's channel? Like Matt Frad gave him the platform to say this.
apologetics,
Does he do Catholic specific apologetics? I've seen him do
No.
interviews.
No,
I feel like he's
he
just a
doesn't.
host of an interview. Yeah, I
mean,
think he just
Don't hate on Matt Frad. Like you need people who just have a platform and interview people. Like that's a valuable skill set. But why are you putting him on the apologetics tier list? It doesn't even make any sense.
was interviewed most of the time.
Yeah.
Mm.
Because I mean, Wagner doesn't do debates, but I'd still put him A tier. But I don't
Mhm.
think Matt. I don't know if I would put Matt Frad over Shameless Popery or Trent Horn. I'd put him at like a C.
No, Trent Horn's definitely better.
All right, so we got Religious Hippie.
Yeah.
S tier. S tier. Putting Religious Hippie in S tier, okay? Too bad she doesn't, like they said about Lila Rose, it is a shame that she doesn't do more anti-Protestant apologetics. On the stuff that we're not talking about, S tier, A tier. Too bad it doesn't do much Protestant apologetics. Like this is the commentary that I'm expecting. Like with the Lila Rose one, it's like, well, she does something completely different, and I think it's okay. A tier on that one. But she doesn't really do much on the one that we're ranking right now. Really? Interesting.
A tier for sure.
Oh yeah, that's
Top of the list, number
she's
one.
gonna make everyone convert. I don't know. I think if Catholic Sam is a D tier, then Religious Hippie has to be a D tier. I'm
There
sorry,
you go.
like just at the bottom.
Fair enough. All right, we got
Dude.
Pine Sap.
Dude, Pine
Fine
Chud.
Sap. Man, what happened to his Instagram? Did he?
I don't know.
Did he get
Dude, I
removed?
love
I
Pine
don't know.
Sap so much.
I don't know. I never followed him on Instagram.
Dude, Pine Sap's such a real one. He's such a real one. I know that if everybody in the world hated me, if I like said something insane and everybody in the Catholic sphere hated me for it, I knew right by my side would be Pine Sap. I don't think, let me look at this list of people. I don't think I could say this for a single one of these people on this list, maybe except Kevin, perhaps Catechumen. Definitely not myself, okay? Definitely not Jimmy, okay? But Pine Sap, I know that if there are 0 people standing beside me, they got Pine Sap, okay? Pine Sap's out of it. So I just love Pine Sap a lot. He's just like I just like him, okay? You can't hate on Pine Sap. You just can't.
I've only ever seen him on like X, and he just got back on YouTube this year. So those are the only 2 places I've seen him.
Pine Sap's okay. I don't see him do a lot of. Has he done debates? I saw him on Jubilee. That was pretty cool.
He debated.
That was pretty cool. Yo, is Ish red pilled? Is he red pilled? He saw him on Jubilee, and that was pretty cool. What did Pine Sap say on Jubilee? Is he red pilled? I didn't know that Ish was chill like that. Okay, I didn't know.
He did Jay twice and lost.
Oh, did
he lost? Dude, Jay mentioned like 4 times this video. Jay won every debate. It's crazy. He's never lost one. It's never happened before. Hey, Cleve, I have one question for you. You talked about Jay debating 3 other people. It's curious you didn't mention one person who Jay debated. Isn't that interesting? You mentioned 3 other people who Jay debated, but the one guy you said sucked at debating, you didn't mention his conversation with Jay Dyer. Isn't that curious, Cleve? I wonder why you didn't do that. Isn't that curious?
HJ?
He debated, yeah, he also debated Danny Philtalk, the atheist guy.
I haven't watched that one either.
Oh,
I
that was
didn't know
funny.
Pine Sap did debates. I knew him for the memes on Instagram. That was my main source of Pine Sap.
True.
Which I guess gives him the high.
If we were doing a meme chart, where would he be on there?
He could be B.
He'd
He's
be
on memes?
your memes.
Dude,
But as far as Catholic apologetics, what do you think? C?
Yeah, I'd say C would be the highest.
Okay, I love Pine Sap as much as the next guy, but you're putting, I mean, Pine Sap would be like, what the heck are you doing? You're putting Pine Sap over Kevin.
Would you say, well, the highest? So would you put him D or would you put him C?
C minus. Well, if there was a way to put it C minus, I'd put it C minus.
I don't know if I would say he's better than Jesus and Whatnot and Albrecht.
But I can't picture him doing what Jesus and Whatnot does. Like, I just don't picture that. Like, he doesn't make those videos, does he?
No, I don't think so. I'm going to put him D. I think that's fair. I think that's fair. I don't think he's as good as Albrecht or Jesus and Whatnot. He doesn't really do. I mean, his content is focused on that kind of thing. I think, right? Jesus and Whatnot. He is trying to make arguments.
That's his main thing.
All right, last one on the list. Eric Ibarra. What do you think?
I think he's pretty good. Everyone thinks he's really good against orthodoxy. I think he's better than most people, but I don't think he's as amazing people make him out to be for orthodoxy.
This is such brain rot. Dude, what are we doing here? Just sitting here, just thinking. What are we doing here? If we place Eric Ibarra on C tier, what are we doing here? Okay.
I agree. I think he is.
You agree. He's like, I agree. Cleve is like, I agree. The guy against orthodoxy doesn't refute orthodoxy. I agree.
He's trying to be more academic. I might do a response to his PSA book. I'm considering doing that. I haven't checked that out, but I've had people tell me that they read his papacy book that was supposed to debunk orthodoxy, and when they read this and they were like, this was touted as like the best the Catholics had against orthodoxy. I know somebody who literally converted to orthodoxy because of Ibarra's book.
Oh, really? You do? You know somebody who converted to orthodoxy because they picked up Ibarra's book, read the whole thing, and they were like, oh, wow. Guess I better become Orthodox. Really? That's why somebody did that? Dude, this is a totally real and not made up story. This is a totally real story. Ubi Petrus said it, so it must be real. This happened. It happened in reality. You know, who was it? The guy who read Eric Ibarra's book on the papacy and became Orthodox, he actually goes to another school. You know, you don't know him. We don't have any mutual friends. You know, he's different school. You wouldn't know him. But it happened. I swear it happened. So his book's actually really, really bad. I can't really explain it. I can't explain it that much. It's just really bad. I actually know somebody who converted to Orthodoxy reading that. And I've been thinking about doing a video. He's responding to another one of his books. So let's put him on C tier.
I know in real life, not somebody online. So I don't know. I agree with you. I don't think he's as good as some people say he is. I will say this, though. The debate that he had with Ubi Petrus, Ubi won. Ubi definitely won, in my opinion.
J1.
But that was probably the highest tier papacy debate I'd ever seen in my entire life. I
would agree.
Super in depth. It was excellent format. Matt Frad, good job hosting that. It was entertaining, but it was so deep in the weeds. I had to like stop and take notes. So
I remember reading the comments for that one. Everyone was like, "Who's?"
When Eric Ybarra did his debate, it was really deep and critical, really deep in the weeds. I had to take notes. Oh yeah, that book that he published. Yeah, it's it sucks a lot. I know a guy, a random guy. He doesn't even know that much. He just perused through the book and like he was able to epically refute the whole thing, and he became orthodox after that. So once all of America reads, America will be orthodox, nationalist. After all of America reads Eric Ybarra's book on the papacy and knows that it's bad, the best the Catholics have to offer, then they're all going to convert. It's going to happen. This is subjecting myself to this video is awful. I mean, it's terrible. But you guys need to know, as I've been reminding you time and time and time again, this is how normal people think. Okay. This is your average person. This is how they're thinking in this. And maybe that makes you want to leave. Maybe that you despair so much to say, and I just don't even want to interact with, this audience. That might actually be a good decision. Maybe that's a wise decision. Maybe that's motivated properly. But if you're not willing to adjust, improve, and proportion yourself to this sort of thing, then you're not going to be able to be in the game. That's just the truth of the matter. Sorry to inform you, sorry to blackpill you on this, but it's just a fact of life. Like probably 80% of you are basically the Catholic version of this. Like I'm your Jay Dyer, Eric Ybarra's your Ubi Petrus. That's just how you think about things. Doesn't mean that you're like stupid or immoral or anything else like that. Like, I don't think that at all. I think that'd be like pretentious and gay and wrong if I said that. But this is just a fact of life. We got to deal with it. There's nothing we can do about it. It's never getting better. It will always be like this. And now we just have mass literacy. So we just have to, we have a problem that we got to solve. Okay.
Side one, and everyone's just like, "Yep," like we don't know.
Yeah, like we got no idea what's going on.
So specific. Just like, I never even heard this stuff.
Super high tier. So, I don't know. I'm thinking B or C.
I think B. I think because he's able to do those things, it puts him up there.
People are going to be mad at me for putting him B, but I think I will just for the the Ubi Ibarra debate. I think that was kind of a more high tier debate, even though I think he lost. I still think he's better than William Albrecht. If Albrecht is the gold standard, then I gotta give him just a little bit above.
It's better than saying orthodoxy, ethno-religious denominations. So
that is very true.
Definitely better.
That is, yeah. You can't.
Dude, I'm so glad I watched the same 3 jokes be said. Oh, we're gonna put this obviously like really bad person. We're gonna put them in S tier. Oh no, actually they're like D. Spam 4 times over again. Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna. Oh no! I need to do super chats. Okay, I'm not watching the last 2 minutes of this. That was terrible. It was awful. I'm deleting my account. I'm leaving the internet forever. Never doing one of these streams again. You can find me on Substack. I would rather have my family starve than subject myself to this ever again. Unironically. So you can find me on Substack. Just read my articles. Okay. Become a premium member on. This is the thing is I notice YouTube membership and Patreon are a lot more popular than Substack. You guys, if you want to prove that you're not part of the 80%, you have to go to Substack and you have to become a premium member, annual membership. You have to get yourself an annual membership for the Substack. Or there's a lot of free articles, if you're penny pinching, if you're saving money or whatever, you can get the free articles. But really, to prove yourself. So in my mind, when I see your name pop up in the live chat, I'm like, that guy's one of the 10%. He's one of the 15%. He's on another level. This guy, when I read his comments, I'm pinning his comments when I see them. I'm hearting them. This guy is really smart. you have to go to the Substack. You have to become a premium Substack member. I don't know what to say, what else to say, guys. The Substack is where things are happening. You have to ascend. I was talking about this on my Telegram, but bottom tier is like Twitter. Twitter is where I'm rage baiting. I here and there, like I'll put like an intelligent thought out there, but I'm usually rage baiting. This weekend, I was rage baiting like Euro history guys. I was rage baiting all the Europeans. It was kind of fun. It's kind of fun, but some people got way too spun up about some of my commentary on this, but it was fun. I was having some fun on there. That's like my F grade rage baiting. You know, if you follow me on Twitter, you're just in it for the rage bait. You just want to be entertained. You want the trough to be filled with as much goy slop as possible. That's where you're at the bottom. YouTube, slightly better. Okay, slightly better. It's okay. You know, I try, but I'm still like kind of high. I'm hiding the power levels a little bit on YouTube. Okay. I'm hiding the power levels. I'm not mentioning stuff. I'm leaving out details. I'm not giving all the arguments. Okay. I'm just hiding my power levels a little bit on YouTube. Then you get to the Patreon. Okay. A little bit better. But Substack, you're like S tier, best stuff you could ever read in your life. They have an audio function. So if you want to listen to like an AI voice read the articles, you're right there. That's how I'm moving on Substack. So you just have to become, I better see like 50 people join the Substack tonight. It better happen just to prove that you're not a goy slop enjoyer. Okay. So maybe we'll see. We'll see. The proof will be in the pudding tonight. I will keep an eye on that. I'll occasionally check it. I'll see what's going on. But the Substack, if you really want to get up there, you're just going to have to be a Substack member. Okay, Mors Ultra, 19 months membership. You've been in it for a while. But we want more goy slop. You guys really do like the goy slop. I don't know. It's kind of fun. You know, I don't have to put in all the effort into thinking, into making points, into editing, into anything like that. I can just sit here and just stream of consciousness over and over and over again. So it's actually kind of cathartic. I could do this for like 10 hours. If you gave me enough videos to review and I had to do this for 10 hours, I could probably do it like every single day. I kind of enjoy it. Okay, you know that I complain about it because of how bad this stuff is, but I kind of enjoy it. Never 3 nights a week again. We demand 4. Remember back in the day when I would do like 7 streams a week? Some days I would be literally doing 2 streams. Those were the days. That's where I cut my teeth in the streaming game. Did you, Voice of Reason, made an appearance doing apologetics? I don't know what this is supposed to mean. James White's sermon reactions and interviewing set of a contests. Okay, that's great. Grade A slop right there. I will do James White's sermon reactions. Okay, how could unbaptized infants be saved by baptism of blood, or hypothetically even without it? If it is without desire of baptism / joining to church, how is this not salvation, quote, outside of the church? ? Well, I mean, I guess the people that would argue for this sort of view would say that if they possess sanctifying grace in an extraordinary way, then they at least have a habitual charity that would incline them to be willing to obey all of the commandments of God. So in that way, they adhere to the commandment to join the unique supernatural society of the church. Like that's the line of argument that they would follow. Although I won't get into that. It always rage baits people when I get into this a little bit more. I'm going to send the Solomonkeys to find you. Hey Christian, getting confirmed and baptized in Pentecost. Dude, we're so back. I'm happy for you. Good job. Actually, you're getting baptized on the Feast of the Holy Spirit, so you need to always have a strong devotion to the Holy Ghost, because the gifts of the Holy Ghost are a lot more important than you think for a lot of the reasons that I've been talking about. But do I fly fish? So I used to fly fish when I was a kid. My family is originally from Pennsylvania, so if you're a fly fisherman, there's a lot of trout fishing up there. So my grandfather, he got me a fly rod, and I used it a few times. So like I'm generally familiar with how to fly fish. I've done it before, but I'm just not, am I going to really go into all that effort to get a fish that's like this big? I probably no, not. I'm not going to do that. Will you ever cover meophysitism? The EOs seem to be the only ones responding to the OOs, but they often don't do a very good job. There's a lot of Catholic responses. Actually, funnily enough, these books, 2 of them are actually Christology, works of Christology that are known for their responses to meophysitism. I've thought about setting aside the time because I think what you have to remember is that like fixating on one doctrine and doing it in like the best way that you possibly can, it literally takes hundreds of hours. Like to focus like hardcore, like when I was focusing on the filioque as something that was going to be my thing when I talked to Eastern Orthodox, I spent hundreds of hours reading about it, everything I could find. So meophysitism, I would have to set aside that kind of time. And I don't know, I intend eventually for that to happen. I just don't know when it's going to happen. So yeah, I could see myself eventually. I focused on this some under the St. Cyril aspect when I was in undergrad. Like I took a class of historical theology and I really liked St. Cyril. So I kind of focused on that. That would be like a few dozen hours of reading about it, but not really like I've spent hundreds of hours watching and reading everything I could possibly find on this. And I would find, a degree of competence about that akin to some other areas in which I normally focus on. It's an aura tier list and Aiken's 1 hour videos have it. So true. Did you see that Pope Boniface X abandoned his claims of being Pope and became some sort of Gnostic? Dude, that's old news. That's old lore. Boniface X abandoned the papacy a long time ago. I want to interview Boniface X. He's cool. I got an E on my math test. True. How much money for you to wear a pink tie? I am not doing that. You should invite Ish to do a live reaction of Since 33 video. Would be great. Like I'm forcing you to watch videos from the people that I don't think you ranked properly. That would be funny. The guy on okay, let's be nice here. Okay, let's be nice here. Let's be nice. No personal attacks. Okay, no personal attacks. Adrian, Sips with Syrah. Adrian and Lilo on the same tier. So real for that. I don't think Cleveland Antiquity is brown. No. Maybe it's just I said earlier it's because he's in Florida. Maybe that's what happens when you become Eastern Orthodox. You start imbibing the Slav spirit. Like you just become more Slav. That you know how you have married couples and what like an old married couple, they look a lot like one another, right? It happens over time. For some reason, they just begin to look like one another. That's like when you become Eastern Orthodox, when you're an Eastern Orthodox convert, you just look more Slavic over time. You're like, you look at that person, you're like, is that a Yuki? And they're like, no, my name is John Fitzpatrick. And you're like, that person, he's probably a convert. He has began to imbibe. He's imbibed the Slavic mindset. He's imbibed the Slavic look. He's wearing many more tracksuits than he has previously worn. He's looking a bit different right now. So I think it might be that, actually. Originally, I thought it was the living in Florida thing. I think it might be the Slav thing. Make one of Catholic meme pages with me on there. Dude, you are S tier. You are S tier, my friend. Brutal height pill and voice pill. Okay, let's be nice to Kevin. Speaking of vibe check, what are the odds that Wagner wears suit pants during stream or short/sweatpants? Okay, so actually right now, I would show you, but I don't even know how I would do that. Right now I'm wearing khakis. Usually I would wear like a khaki colored dress pants with this. I don't know. I like khaki colored dress pants. Not like khakis like the khaki material, but like the color, like that sort of brown, but as a dress pant. It's really nice. Also, another thing, this is a tip. So do not look for regular fit dress shirts. Slim fit dress shirts, they look stupid. And if you're wearing a dress shirt without a suit jacket, You're not going to make it. When you wear a dress shirt and tie, you wear a suit jacket with it, okay? This is like if you want to look normal, just don't just wear a dress shirt and a tie. That looks ridiculous. Wear a suit jacket with it of some sort. You don't have to wear like a vest. You don't have to be a LARPer. You don't even have to be an actual suit jacket. You wear a blazer like I do. That's fine. But just don't, whatever you do, and especially if I see any of you guys doing this, I will kill you. Okay, that was a joke. YouTube, that was a joke. Please don't take my channel down. Especially don't wear a t-shirt or a polo with a suit jacket or a blazer. Do not do that, okay? That is bad. It's bad. Don't do that, okay? Just look what I do, okay? I like this tie color, okay? I like the fit. And also always wear white dress shirts under your jacket. Okay, no need to wear colors. You're not like 7 years old, okay? I kind of like in some ways, I like you've seen me wear it before. I have like a short sleeve, like dress shirt style thing. It's like a summer shirt. I kind of like it. But if you're like trying to dress normally, there's only 5 things you need to do. Actually, 7 things you need to do. Okay. 1, buy a pair of dress shoes. Okay. 2, buy a belt that is the same color as those dress shoes. 3, pick out a pair of dress pants. 4, pick out a regular fit dress shirt that is your size and fits your neck. Okay. 5, get a tie. That's generally an okay color with that dress shirt, that regular fit dress shirt. 6, find a suit jacket that matches with your pants. Actually, yes, 7, dress socks, but nobody really cares about those, okay? That's all you need to do. And it's been a long process for me to learn how simple it is, but you don't have to make it fancy, okay? Just find a pant color you like, leather color that matches with the other colors, shirt, tie, jacket, and just buy multiple copies. Like I just own a bunch of the same dress shirt. It's not that hard. It's like a uniform. It's like a uniform. Anyways, if you take a rigid approach and factor the necessity of temple worship and Aaronic priesthood, here hasn't been a true practicing Jew since 70 AD. True. Cleave to cringe or cleave to gay. Putting that goat Scott Hahn in D tier, but Voice of Reason in B tier, and Matt Fradd and Lofton in C tier irks me off so much. True. It does irk me off as well. Oh, Catholic Sam. Hello. You were on the tier list. Okay. And I have recalled seeing you on my Instagram page. Unfortunately, it didn't work out with the whole attaching a message to the super chat. But I hope I hope you weren't yelling at me. I hope it's a good message. I hope you enjoyed it. Okay. Comment Dyer W Dyer, WJ, W Chris Wags, W Ubi Petrus, W Yabara. True. Brutal. Need anything from the liquor store? Do I need anything from the liquor store, David? Are you coming over tonight? Huh. I didn't know you were coming over. Oh yeah, you texted me. And I totally ignored your text because I was real for that. Yes, bring me liquor to placate me. Anything from the liquor store? Hennessy. Give me Hennessy. Okay. Hopefully grape. There'll be some like Kool-Aid there or some sort of grape soda to mix my Hennessy with. Hennessy, peppermint schnapps, and Guinness, but the extra stout Guinness, not the normal Guinness, the extra stout. Any of those 3 options are fine by me. Joining Substack, look for my name. So real. Is that a picture of you and Joe Heschmeyer? Let me see. That does look like a picture of you and Joe Heschmeyer. Okay. So it looks like you have met Joe Heschmeyer. Yeah, I did ignore your text, David. We love the Wagner streams. Oh, thank you. Do 7 streams a day. Can you do gaming streams? No. Wagner has okay, yeah, true. This is basically every single one of the streams. Calling Aiken A tier when he defends aliens, evolution, magisterial lapse, impolygenism is insane. Okay, but he's kind of real for all of those. They're all wrong, but you gotta recognize real. You gotta recognize real because he's just locked in. He's on a different. Aiken is locked in. He's on a different level. He's in a different universe. He's lining his desk right next to it with all of his pipes. It's like he reminds me. No, I'm not gonna say that. That would have been funny if I did say that, but I can't say that. There's some limits to what I will say. This is why it's good to have these like a member stream. Then I could just say whatever I feel like. But he's just on a different level. You just don't understand. See, you think you're part of the 10. You probably Jack Thayer. You probably think you're part of the 10%. No, you're part of the 80%. You're part of the 90%. You're part of the goy slop enjoyers. You're part of the NPCs. You're part of the normies. If you don't understand the genius of Jimmy Aiken, you're not even in the game. You're out of the game. I'm returning your money. Send me your PayPal. I'm returning the money. I can't in good conscience accept this money because you cannot understand the brilliance of Jimmy Aiken. If you can't understand it, get off my stream. I don't want you here. Do you consider incorrupt bodies of saints a miracle or hoax? And would science prove it? What do you mean would science prove it? I think they're a miracle. I do not think they're a hoax. I don't even know what science prove it you would mean. That they're actually incorrupt or that this is actually a miracle. I feel navy suits is better than black suits, and 3-piece suits are goated. Not sure if I prefer pinstripe or solid color suits most of the time. Thoughts? Okay, so black suits are just rough. They're rough for me because I have a wider build. I'm sure you know because you have a wide build too. But for guys with a wider build, black suits just don't look good. They just don't look good on us. So I'm biased against black suits. I like solid color. I like navy. Tan, I'm just not a fan of tan either. I don't know. I just like navy so much. Maybe this is like part of the era of Zoomer that I grew up in, that I'm brain rotted towards navy colored things and khaki colored things. But I don't know. Tan is better than black. But some people can pull off black. I'm behind the paywall. I got coffee with Joe at Seek. Oh, nice. I had coffee with Joe as well. If I travel you and I got to get a gym lift in fellow. So true. So true. I knew you back when I used to lift a lot. I went through a phase before the birth of my daughter for like a solid year and a half where I lifted a lot. Back when I was not even Catholic, I don't think. But I had a phase. Where I lifted a lot. I've thought about going back to it here and there. I don't know. It feels good. It feels good. I don't know. Anyways, that is the end of the super chats. I've been going for over 2 hours. So, we believe it. You can ask him. You can ask him. Okay. You can ask Mr. Flex Cathedra. He will approve of this. I used to. Back in the day, I did. I did. I this where I used to live in Florida. There's this cool it was like a lifter gym. So there was almost nobody there ever. And especially no women there. Such an awesome place. And then when I moved to North Carolina, I tried to keep it up at this like normal gym. And it just sucked. It was always crowded. There were people there. Like I was in the presence of women, like lifting things, and it just made me uncomfortable. I don't know. I just don't like being around them. Okay. Is there anything wrong with that? I just don't like being around them. So didn't like that. went for a few months, and I was like, this sucks. I'm not doing it anymore. And I stopped. Oh, no, there's more super chats. Dang it. I'm starting a Substack. I do devotional poetic stuff. I didn't realize you could listen with AI voice. I'll be listening to your stuff. So true. Yes, you can listen. It has like a little play button if you go through the phone app. I don't know how you do it on a computer. This was true. This was real. I would post one of the pictures, but like the only picture I have from when I was like my largest was a picture with my wife. And she was like 9 months, well, she was like almost like 9 months pregnant, like, you know, right in the end of the third trimester with our firstborn. And I really don't feel like posting a picture of me with my very pregnant wife online. So you guys will just have to think in your minds, like, how would Wagner look if he was like that? And however you think in your minds, that's probably how I looked. Okay. Anyways, it's over. True. I cooked you. Okay. So you guys, you have a wonderful rest of the week. I don't know if something happens, I'll stream. Like if something happens or something interesting that happens, I will stream, but I doubt that anything interesting is going to happen. So you guys all have a nice rest of your week, and look out for a video on Wednesday. Don't know what I'm going to do a video about. Maybe I'll just skip because I'm done with this. But anyways, hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day. And as always, God bless.